Hi, I'm Ted from Everything Attachments, and we're here today with our subsoiler that we've been working on. The weather here in North Carolina has been terrible. It's been so wet we can't stand it. We did a skid steer video yesterday. It came out pretty good. It would have been a whole lot better had it not been so wet. This is our subsoiler that I think with 20 horsepower tractor will have no problem pulling. We're getting ready to find out as we do everything kind of live. We've not pre-tried this. But with this sharpened beam and it only being 5/8 inch in width, it should, once it goes in, I believe we can bury this 15, 18 inches, no problem. We've got some 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe here. We're gonna shove it in the hole. Once we get it down in the ground, we're gonna shove it in the hole and then get it kind of seated down in the hole where it'll start pulling it in by itself. This is really a two-man job to do a good job at it. And we are going to we've not found this anywhere on the internet. Our patent attorney will find out if it's available somewhere else. This hinge part I think is really going to work great. We made turns through the yard the other day and it worked real good. We'll see. And there's just times where you need to be able to turn when you're putting your pipe in the ground. Right now this is in its lowest setting for a small tractor. You've got 5 more inches. You can drop it for a bigger tractor. This is about as high as this hitch is going to go on this size tractor. So it's close. You got to be a little careful getting where you're going, but as long as it'll pull it, we can get the pipe in, that's all that's going to matter. This should be a lot easier to pull than the cheap models that have a real fat beam that are just square and don't do anything to make it sharp to let it cut through the ground. So first I'm going to get it down in the ground. I'm going to get Peanut Son Jeremy to shove the pipe in and get it started, and we'll see if we can lay this. That is 2 pieces of 10 or 15 feet. It does have a union in the middle. It's not glued, unfortunately, but I think it'll stick together. So the only thing that's going to keep this from not working is going to be traction. 20 horsepower is way more than enough in low gear. It's just a matter of these tires and this weight, will it do it or not? This red clay's no joke. Go on down in there. Make a final adjustment there. On down in there. Once it starts to go, it should go. Wormy, stand on there and see if it'll go in. We're going to put a little more angle on that blade to make it go in easier. This is like putting a gnat on here. There, it's starting to go. Oh yeah, I feel the pull. I gotta go to low range. You gotta get it deeper. That's not deep enough. All right, go ahead and shove it in. And it keeps some pressure on it while it's starting to feed. All right, now it should go. Keep going a little bit. Once it gets in there so far, if we were in deeper, it would help. And I can adjust this a little bit more to help us. Hold on. See, it's just barely, it's not deep enough. So this ground is packed so hard. This is where we've been parking this 20 horsepower tractor with a hydro just isn't got the horsepower to pull it. We're getting ready to go into where the graveled area is, which is getting worse. Let's pull it out and restart up there, and we'll let that drag behind it. No, don't let it go on that. Well, you can. We'll restart it. You gotta get her all the way to the bottom. There you go. So even with 20 horsepower, especially if you've got a gear drive or a heavier tractor in a lower gear, you shouldn't have any problem. That pipe's in the ground, perfect to go to your garage or whatever you're doing. I'm gonna drive back over it one time and push it right back down. Now, that pipe's in there from now on. So this is a smaller tractor than just as perfect, but it will do it. So there's 30 feet of pipe laid. It beats the heck out of a shovel. Or renting a trench or something like that. For even the ones that have a backhoe on their tractor and dig a 16 wide trench and go however deep they want, there's no question, boy, it takes time for that ground to reheal and get stable. You've got to put seed back out, cover it back up. Just, a little bit bigger tractor would just make it perfect. But it does show you can do it. You can't get much tougher than this ground. It's not been touched in 75 years, and we've been parking on it for the last 10. So it can't do anything but get better with a little bigger tractor or a little softer ground. Here at Everything Attachments, we're building things and designing them for you. Hi, I'm Ted from Everything Attachments, and when we built the new subsoiler, we promised that we'd put it on the 141 and just see how fast it would pull it. And the reason it's sitting there running wide open is because 5 minutes ago it wouldn't even do anything but idle. Everybody's familiar with the regen. I braked it. I used the brakes and the hydraulics to bog it out as much as I could to build up the heat as quick as I could. Took about 7 or 8 minutes. I'm letting it sit there at full throttle to burn on off whatever it's gonna do. We don't have a long distance to gain a bunch of speed here, and we only own 50 feet of this, so I don't really want to get into the neighbor's yard. But we're going to drop this down. I think we've already proven the point with a 20 horsepower Bobcat it can be used. You can bury pipe, and certainly you could bury it deeper and easier with a bigger tractor. I don't think this is going to have any, I don't think the attachment will have any problem with this horsepower. Now, we might meet enough force to actually shear the bolt on this. We've designed it with 3 different shear sizes, but it's not really, the bolts aren't really sized to wait till you get 140 horsepower against it to shear. So it may shear or not, and it may shear quick or not. We're gonna find out together. So we're just gonna let it bury. We've lowered the shank down the extra 5 inches. You've got a full 27 inches of cut that you could be putting your pipe in 2 feet down, no problem. Let's put her down and I'll go through the gears. It's got the power shift on it, and we'll start high and first, and every beep you hear, I'm going up a gear, and we'll just see how it does. And then I'll make a turn at the end to just show you that the swiveling pipe layer is the way to go, because you can't stay in a perfect straight line. So I'm in high range. I'm gonna let this all the way down. let's see where we go. I think I've got everything where it'll go down. I don't use this a lot. Okay, we should be in first gear, high range. Oh shoot. All right, I need to change my top link angle. Sure it's going down. I got something wrong here. Okay. Maybe that was the whole problem. That's not a heavy implement for this tractor. And so it doesn't even know if it wants to go down or not. I'm going to try to adjust them a little bit of this. I'm just going to back up with it down. Yeah, I can tell the angle needs to be changed a little bit. All right, it's mad at me. I'm gonna get back and adjust the top link. First gear was faster than I thought in high range. And having a drawbar could be a bad thing on certain tractors, like right now if it lifted too high. So I'll probably recommend removing a drawbar on a bigger tractor like this. We're also, this is our prototype, and on anything new we've decided to add 3 degrees more angle down, where you'll have to do less of this to get it to go in well. I think that's probably enough. All right, let's give her a try. I'm gonna start out at a lower RPM, I believe, and then rev into it. All right, we're still in high gear. I think it should go down faster than that, but hopefully everything's right. We'll see in a moment. I'm gonna start in a low gear just to get it in the ground. This is medium range. I'm gonna get it sunk into the ground. I don't think my lift is letting it go down right. I just caught a little rock. All right, it's going down. If it'll continue. All right, we're down there. So I'm gonna put it high. That's first. Ah, shoot, it's regenning again. All right, I'm just gonna start pulling it. As it pulls, maybe it'll regen enough to start giving it a little RPMs once it gets a little heat in the exhaust. This ain't gonna give it a whole lot of pull, to be honest with you. But she is deep. So let's go all the way to high. We're gonna go back. You ready? We're in high range. We're in regen with no throttle. We're at 600 RPMs, and I'm just hoping that the bog on this will start letting it rev up a little more. Well, that was more pull than it wanted it to idle. Let's go down a couple of gears. Oh, it's really mad. Okay, a bog like this is the best thing. Well, they're called a rock is why. Well, we may have to go to medium range to get it going. All right, we'll go up a couple of gears in medium. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 7th, 8th. Okay, so come on, tractor, give me some power. We got her buried to the hub. I'll come back and go the other way. What the heck? Maybe it'll start giving us some throttle. There we go. We got the throttle back. Okay. We're going to make a good pass on the way back. If we can keep it hot. All right, I'm going to go on and go to high range while I'm at it. While I got a little throttle and quit screwing around with it. And we'll leave it wound up to keep it hot as it gets to the bottom. Let's see if it'll go in. This is half gravel and this is where everybody's been barking. I'm gonna go slow till it gets deep. Just my lift doesn't think it's anything on there. And I'm gonna start going through the gears. That's all, that's 104. I'm having to go back down on gears. It's out of power. So that stalled it. So I think you get the idea. We're gonna try it one more time. I'm gonna go to medium and then bump up in the gears as we make this turn. I think it put a little twist on our pipe layer. We sheared it. Okay, but let's see what we got when we're done. That's way more power, way more everything than we should have done. But that's us at EA. Let's see what we got. Oh. Well, it didn't shear. It collapsed it got so low the top link got below center and let it flip. Well, that's a 2x4 1/4 inch with a short gusset on it. We could have gusseted it this way. That certainly would have taken care of the problem because it started bending right at the end of the short gusset. Question is, do you gusset it for this size of tractor? Never bends, don't have the problem, or do you leave it like you'll probably never do it again? No, that's probably not us. We'll gusset it from here up where you can still do this. We'll retry this. I want to get it to where I can go through the field at full speed and do what the heck I want to, because I don't want to see this picture coming from you, because I'm going to have to ship it back and fix it. So we're gonna get it to where we don't have to do that. So to everything attachments, you can see you're field testing live with us. The pipe layer survived being that deep, making a turn. This didn't, and I think a lot of it is more than the pull, because the pull would have pulled back. I think more than anything, the top link geometry, and we can probably look at it in the video and tell, the top link probably got at the geometry to where it was just pushing down on this instead of anything else. That's my likely guess. If that's 100% of what it was on the video, then we'll try this again without this longer brace. But if we think it needs a longer brace, you'll get it with the longer brace. Everything attachments, when we mess up, we'll show you and we'll fix it.